is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. Pikachu, I have in my hand 2 pills. You take the blue pill, and the story ends now. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the Diglett hole goes. But be warned, dive too deep, and you may never return.
It is time. This is an investment game. I'll talk about alternative investments and collectibles, not particular investment advice. But if you listen to this, you will be a better collector and make smarter decisions with your money. All right, let's get into this now. So we're talking about sports cars and what you want to invest in. Okay, so let's go into Giannis Antetokounmpo is starting to have this LeBron James problem where no matter what this dude does, he is going to be he's just going to have amazing seasons every single year. Nobody's going to bat an eye. And people are going to criticize him like crazy. And everything he does won't be enough. And that's really the LeBron James problem. Also, he is going to probably win some more MVPs. And it's not going to be that big a deal. It's not going to be that big of a deal for the sports card market. I do think there are other guys such as Luka as well. I'll get into him and some other guys who are going to be doing well. But Giannis Antetokounmpo is playing phenomenal right now. And there's a lot about his situation that's similar to LeBron James. And I'm going to show you some of the statistics that really go into this. Some of you will not believe this. I don't think he's going to be the next LeBron James. I think his overall talents and abilities are different. But I think he's going to have an amazing career that's comparable to LeBron. You look at total winning percentage, 73.5 compared to LeBron James, 77. So far, he has 2 MVPs and 1 Defensive Player of the Year and 1 title so far. He could win another title, and he could be on his way to winning multiple MVPs. I know a lot of people don't like Giannis, but also he's very durable. LeBron James, 95% of his games from 2003 to 2013. And then, Giannis, 91%. His coach does like to sit him out some games and let the other guys play. On the opposite end of the spectrum, you have Ben Simmons and Zion, who don't ever play games. So they're probably more comparable to each other anyway. And he is just getting more and more dominant. It's really crazy to see his 2013 cards are actually lower pop compared to most other modern cards out there. And he is playing excellent. And I'm gonna be honest with you, he plays on small market. The other person is Luka Doncic, who's playing crazy that I think is going to be a great probably investment. Not really 2023, 2024. I do think the sports card market is going to continue to go down in 2023 and 2024. We'll probably be closer to the bottom of the market. No one knows the exact bottom, but I am ballparking that end of 2023, beginning of 2024 is probably the better time to buy cards. And I think Luka Doncic is, there's a lot of cards. I mean, I would say mid-tier, higher-end stuff. But this stuff is very expensive right now. But I do think his 2018 Panini Prism Silver card will probably get to around $1,500, maybe $1,000, maybe $800. I do think that card is comparable to 2003 Topps Chrome, LeBron James base PSA 10 for Luka's PSA 10 Panini Prism Silver. I do think those are comparable. I remember when he already had 3 championships and 4 MVPs, and he was still on the Cleveland Cavaliers. His cards were still going up. They were going, $700, $800, $900, $1,000. And they were probably, some people consider underpriced at that time. I would say his cards were, comparable to as far as pop counts, and then Luka has more other sets out there. So I think LeBron James base cards are Luka's silver cards, basically. And, his cards probably should be around $800 to $1,200. I mean, he is playing extremely well. This season. I'll get more into it. I mean, he masters the pick and roll. His team is trash, so that's why I think his card is going to go down. Even though he's playing in an MVP-like season, he is not that. There's some things that he's have issues similar to LeBron when he was in Cleveland the first time, where he's playing well, but the team isn't that great, and he's kind of willing the team to win and really have to do everything for the team. He's not that great at defense, so he has to do things a little differently. But the thing about him is, and he's probably a better shooter at his age than LeBron James was. But the thing is that most MVPs don't do that well, especially when they're dominating the ball. Such high offensive output. You see Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Russell Westbrook. You have Trae Young, Luka. All these guys on this list haven't won a championship and probably won't win a championship as long as their offensive load is this crazy. I know Michael Jordan had a high offensive load, but not like these guys, and that's why you don't win championships. Even Kobe said this. And then, James Harden eliminating the playoffs. I think Luka plays better, so he's not Luka Doncic. But, Luka plays better, so he's not James Harden. But they have to get talent around them to win a championship. And we see this with LeBron. He's going to be probably the next LeBron. These are the kind of guys in the rotation right now. I guess Spencer Dinwiddie is his best player. And I like those guys. But, he's going to have more cap space, which I think is coming in 2025. They're going to have $75 billion deal, which should get more money. These guys don't really win championships to 28, 27 years old. See some of the best guys ever. Didn't win it to at least 26. That's Curry the young. Giannis the youngest. But Luka's 21, 22. So he has some years to before he wins a championship. And I think people are kind of going to lose faith. Maybe win some MVPs, but they're going to kind of lose faith a little bit. And that's one of the things that I think people aren't paying attention, and they're just chasing these young rookies, Jalen Green, Cade Cunningham, RJ Hampton, all these other guys, and they're gonna forget about Luka in a sense, and basically him putting up high numbers but not really getting to the playoffs or barely getting to the playoffs. You had guys like, DeAndre Ayton and Marvin Bagley, for example, were guys people were hyping up. And people really weren't looking at international players like that. And they're still not. Some of these guys still fall through the cracks. But one thing is the international players are catching up and also catching up in popularity. A lot of people think that, Luka was Darko Milicic during the draft. And they were wrong. That was an opportunity there. But people are going to be looking for opportunities for guys coming through the draft. They're not going to be looking at Luka, who's kind of the youngest to do all kind of stuff. Youngest player, 35, 15, 10. Most consecutive games, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Youngest player to record triple-double in the playoffs. Only player to record 43 points, 17 rebounds, 13 assists in the playoffs. Youngest players to record 150 points, 50 rebounds, 50 assists in the postseason. A lot of stuff like that. The post-up game for Luka, for example. And yes, I am going about cards, but these are some of the reasons why. Post-up game has been dead. And also, Luka has been very successful at it, and he's been mixing in with pick and roll, which helped him be pretty successful in a sense. And one of the issues that I have with him, though, is his team is just not that great. So, you're going to see his cards decline 2023 and probably 2024, even though he's putting up crazy numbers. And that's going to let you know that probably, Larry Bird, people put Larry Bird statistics on him, meaning they thought he probably going to have 3 MVPs, 3 championships, but it's already built in. And I think some of that's going to decrease in a sense. And, I think a lot of these guys are going to kind of forget about him, and it's going to be some amazing opportunities in a sense. The other thing that I think people are forgetting is that, there are other Hall of Fame players who played great years, but you look at points, rebounds, and assists for past MVPs, the guys now set a new standard. I know Steve Nash is probably one of the lowest, But you have a lot of guys are above the average line now. We're playing the NBA right now. And I'm about to get into this because this is crazy. But also, this is a warning to be careful, too. Just because, how do you say, I would just say you have to be careful just because there's so many players. And over time, there's only 3 or 4 guys that people are going to want to have long term. I mean, look at this. Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, Steph Curry, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis, and Jason Tatum all are scoring over 31 or more points a game. I know it's early in the season, but this has never happened before. If you look at the people in the club, this is way higher than all previous seasons, like exponentially almost. And this is just never really been seen before. And I think a lot of people are going crazy for these guys' prices, but this may be the new norm for these guys. We just may see just ridiculous players, and then they have to sort it out with winning championships, and the MVP is just going to be tight races overall. I mean, you look at Steve Nash and Derrick Rose has had a crazy season. Giannis had a crazy statistics to win his MVP. And then you got a lot of guys continue to go up. And you have Magic Johnson season, Russell Westbrook season with the triple doubles. Kevin Durant was a crazy season. James Harden was insane. LeBron seasons have been crazy. Tracy McGrady. Steph Curry was like the NBA record, unanimous MVP. And guess what? Steph Curry is outperforming that this year, which is a lot of people are like, what? How is that even possible at 34 years old? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he is outperforming that. I don't really know what to really say to that, but he's 10th in MVP voting, which is crazy to think about, right? If you're 10th in MVP voting, that's really, 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 really crazy to think about. And he's tearing up the league. His team isn't that great, and you are seeing a lot of performances of players who are playing amazing, but their team isn't that great. So if this is the case, and you got a guy like Steph Curry who has true shooting percentage of 69.8%, which is legendary. Nobody is performing like that. I mean, 17 points or more, having the highest shooting percentage ever. Then you got some Jared Allen and Rudy Gobert, which was like last year at specific point marks, which is really crazy that Steph has such a huge share over those. Even if you look at highest shooting percentage per how many points, it is all Steph Curry's, and ladies and gentlemen, it's all Steph Curry. So we see this. This is part of everyday life now, and his cards are going to decline just because of what's going on in the economy. And Steph Curry may do things we haven't seen before, and obviously long-term collectability. But it'd be very interesting in like people going after his 2009 cards, and since there's other later year cards. But he's 10th in MVP voting. Somebody's tearing it up who may win MVP this year. I don't think so, but Jason Tatum, 31 points, 8 rebounds, basically about 5 assists, PER 26%. I mean, he is taking a leap. I thought the Ime Udoka thing would be a distraction, but I was wrong. Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem, and Kevin Durant. And he's in that talk with those guys, but he's third. The guys who are ahead of him is Giannis and Luka Doncic, which is even crazy because they are just seeming invincible this season as individual players. I mean, these guys are looking like the next Michael Jordan almost. As far as guys who won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, obviously is Michael Jordan, and obviously there is Akeem Olajuwon. But guess what? Giannis is in that category too, which is very impressive. Where he's putting himself in the top 10 all time, and that's his season. which is insane. It's kind of in between Akeem and Michael Jordan. But this year, his stats are even better, and he may win both again this year, which would be psycho. I mean, it'll be absolutely psycho. Also, the MVP fatigue is starting to wear off. I don't think it's going to help his prices that much, but I think it'll be good because it stays stagnant for people to buy his cards. Jokic is playing crazy. I don't know if he's going to have long-term collectability, but personally, I'm probably going to buy some Jokic cards in the future. He may be on track to win 3 MVPs in a row, which will be since Larry Bird. And then obviously you got Luka, 34 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, almost a triple-double. PER 33.1, which is ridiculous. It's crazy. Too bad his team is so bad. And his cards are probably going to tank quite a bit for the next year and a half. But these are amazing opportunities. I mean, he's in the league on his own. Luka is almost like the chosen one, basically, how people are treating this guy. Yeah. And then you got other guys who are having historic seasons as well, like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Joel Embiid, Ja Morant, Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant, who's not even on the MVP list, who's playing crazy. So yeah, what I would say is, be careful, but I think the top guys to invest in 2024 to buy is Jason Tatum, Luka, and yours truly. Really Jason Tatum and Luka and Giannis. Those are the 3 guys. And then there's going to be opportunities with Kevin Durant, LeBron, and Curry. But peace.